I was saying with the planets, like we were taught that planets are physical places that you can physically fly and go to. But if you was to read just basic books like the Bible and stuff like that, you would see that these things that they make no mention of it, right? And planets don't really come into existence until, or they're not really spoken of in a manner that we understand them spoken of until after the Renaissance. Prior to the Renaissance, the Moors, the astronomers and these type of people was dealing with things on the basis of what we knew them to actually be, which again were wandering stars that basically amplified and gave us a greater scope on how to navigate and map this reality. Hold on a second, guys. Therefore, as this fictitious reality became more and more anchored into our consciousness, we had to basically be force-fed the tenets of it that make it real. You know what I'm saying? So we went from knowing what the world was, knowing how things work, to believing how things work. You understand? When you believe that you know something, that means you're unsure of it. You understand? That means you're unsure. So unless you know somebody who personally went to the moon, you can't take on face value that they actually went to the moon. You understand? Because the physics of it don't make sense. How can you reach the upper atmosphere when every rocket I've ever seen y'all niggas shoot into the space then came back down? Don't make sense. Because it didn't happen. So when we speak of planets, we're actually speaking of stuff that look like this. Remember I said in the Bible, they refer to them as wandering stars. You see this? Does this look solid to you? Does this look like something you could walk on? Do any one of these places look like somewhere? So this is Venus, this is Neptune, right? Do they look solid to you? Does that look like something you could walk on or fly into? Does that look like something that has an atmosphere? No. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. How can you, yeah, they look like that. That's how it looks at the telescope, because that's how it really looks. It's not like when you're looking at the telescope, you know what I'm saying? It's not like when you look at a telescope, it's changing what you're looking at. It's not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like it looked the way it looked because that's how it looked. That's how they really look. Like, look, this is Saturn, and then this is Mars. This is Saturn, and then this is like the other planets on the other side. So on your left-hand side, you got Saturn. On the right-hand side, you got a bunch of other planets. See what I'm saying? Like, look at this, man. So because we grew up in, watching Star Wars, Star Trek, all of that stuff was created. That stuff was created to get us to understand that there is a universe beyond this one. So really what they're trying to get us to do is to understand that there's a reality outside that reality that was created by Allah. That's really what they're doing by getting us to do that. And then what we do is, because the pictures and the stories are entertaining of this fictitious reality, or this potential reality that can exist, we then give it life. You understand? So now we start to entertain the idea that, yes, you can go to these different places and you can go to these different planets and then, live there and stuff like that. You understand? When really, most of these things is like gas giants. They're not even tangible like that. So for more on that. So in the Bible, right, when you read the Bible, right, it'll say Genesis 1:1-4:19, right? And it talks about day 4, because on day 4, when the wandering stars or the so-called planets were created. So it says planets in name. Okay, let me find the one I was looking for. See, in the Bible, they have different names. So Mercury in the Bible was Nabu or Nebu or Nibu, where we get Nebudu, which is where they get Marduk, right? It was also called Bel or Baal, Mercury. Venus was referred to as the day star by the Hebrews, okay? Which is different than the bright and morning star. See, Lucifer is the star of the morning. The bright and morning star was Venus, okay? Then when you get further, Mars was called Nergal. It's called Nergal, right? Jupiter is referred to as Barnabas. Now that's interesting because Barnabas was one of the thieves that was allegedly crucified with Jesus, right? So I'm saying all this to say, or to show and prove that one people may refer to something as one thing and another people refer to as another thing, but it doesn't change what those things are. But the perception of those things is what allows either one of those people to invest in the truest essence of what they're doing in knowledge to. You understand? So if you believe that planets are things that you can physically, fly onto and land on and stuff like that, then that's a reality for you. That doesn't mean that that's a real thing. It just means that that is what you believe in what you've been told. Okay? Then the way you know it's a lie, because when you ask them, okay, well, how come you ain't going to the moon since? They say that they don't have any of the technology or anything left from the original moon landing and whatever it is they did. So what they're saying is they want you and I to believe that they spent over 20 billion or however many $billion up until the last moon landing. Then after the last moon landing, they lost all of the documentation of how to fly back to the moon. And these are the people that they're saying are your leaders. These are the people who are actively acting like they are in control of this reality. You understand? This is why you can't follow nobody else. This is why they created things like Facebook and things like that, so you can have a group of followers, so people can follow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but see, we done all forgot that though. They done forgot all that. They done forgot that they said that they couldn't get past the Van Allen belt. So how is it that they got to the moon? So I guess they could break through the Van Allen belt one day, but then, that day, but then the rest of the days they couldn't do it. Whatever, man. Like I said, if people believe that, that belief becomes their reality. But just because you believe you know something, it doesn't mean that you actually know what it is you believe. Huh? You understand what I'm saying? So we were taught to believe everything. That's because they didn't want us to know anything. You understand? So belief is, according to the Bible again, is the evidence of things unseen, is the proof of things unseen, the evidence of things hoped for. Okay? So in that, a belief system, right? So now think about that. A belief system is then a system by which the individual, the practitioner, has based their entire life on that which they believe and not know. You understand where I'm going with it? This is why they had things like Bibles, and then they had things like slave Bibles. The slave Bible was the Bible that the slaves had given to the free people to make them into slaves so the slaves could be free. You see? So what I'm also saying is that your liberty is really tied to their destruction. You understand? They cannot have a society by which you are in your proper person. You understand? Because if you're in your proper person, that means they cannot be them. They can't be you anymore. Everybody is impersonating you. So if they're impersonating you, that means that you can't be there to watch them do it, or everybody's going to know that, they're really acting like you. Okay? Now peep this. Well, first, anybody have any other questions? As you watching these wandering stars? Okay, the Torrent system, the only person to really use that really successfully was the prophet. And then after he used it, they kind of shut it down. The Torrent's title system is or was a system of titling vast estates or empires by the British East India Company. And then that was transliterated into the Religious Society into the Religious Society Act back in the days out of Illinois, what we call Illinois, but it's actually El Leones. Actually, Leones meaning lions. You know what I mean? But the cracker, he spelled it with an ill, so then that's that. So Herd Smith was the guy that actually was the guy who was in charge of making sure that they could find a way to charter vast estates. Because after the decline of the British East India Company, everybody was going for their independence. So they didn't want to give up the full title of the lands that they had annexed. So they had to find a way to chatelize or to categorize what was a part of their empire, or what was part of corporate empire, and was part of the indigenous or the republic aspect. And so that's why when the prophet filed what he filed it in the Torrent system under that Herd Smith revised statute, because that was the statute they had to revise in order to catalog the vast estate. The vast estate is the Moorish Empire, which was then broken up through a series of treaties after the surrender of Granada into things like the Treaty of Madrid, the Treaty of Ghent, the Treaty of Paris, the Treaty of Versailles, the Treaty of United States and Italy, the Treaty of, it's so many of them. But all of those treaties are based on that one so-called treaty, which actually was somewhat of a annexation, which was the surrender of Granada. That's where all of this comes from. You know what I'm saying? So all treaties after 1492 is based on that treaty, because that was the empire that had the ruling sway over all the different admiralty factions that existed on the planet. But everything with us is downgraded. Everything with us is supplanted and is reduced, so that way we don't see the fullness of our empire. Yes, Granada being present day Florida. I'm gonna show you that in a minute too. Another good brother, sent me a picture. Brother David, big up to him. Brother David Ross, he sent me a great picture of that, which then even further solidifies everything I'm saying with this stuff. I love when people really can add on and see what I'm trying to do out here with this information. So they don't want us getting back to this, okay? Because to get back to this means that they're all falling down. As you can see, there's all of these is Moors. This is us. This is probably in America. They got us thinking everything that looked like this happened over there, but you got to remember they flipped up the maps too. Everything that was west was east. Everything that was east was west. I can show you that in another clip in a minute. I'll go into that. But essentially, that's what's going down. So I'm starting to think that most of those Orientalist pictures that they've been shown us by those French painters and stuff was actually stuff that was actually over here. And then after the fall, they switched it back over. Not like they would ever tell us the truth anyway. So I say it's what we say it is. You know what I'm saying? So what they want you and I to believe is that we were not here as Moors and we had no definition. We had no whatever. We was working with the white. You know, these people who hate Moors come up with every reason out of the book not to be a Moor. But there'll be everything else. There'll be Freemasons. There'll be, you know, LGBTs. There'll be RB. There'll be whatever. There'll be whatever. But when it comes to Moors, for some reason, they have a deep aversion to that. So what that means to me is that they descended from those people who we was banging on. Which is why they hating. Because most of these niggas just found out about Moors last week. You know what I'm saying? Most of these guys is just waking up to this stuff. But because they've been hit with ADOS or this or that, like, they got Moors out here bugging. You know what I'm saying? They got them literally out here bugging, chasing their tails, saying this, and that, saying stuff that's obviously not, it's not even that it's not even true. It's just the fact that most of this stuff didn't even happen. And we'll get into that in a minute. Let me see if I can pull this up. One second. Where it is. 1 second. He set up a religious body politic and corporate that could act as a placeholder, an organ holder, a placeholder for the organ, which is the old Moorish Empire. He basically consolidated the entire Moorish Empire into the Moorish Science Temple of America. That's what he did. And he got the state to co-sign it. You see what I'm saying? By putting it into the actual record in a manner by which they could never hide it again. Understand? That's why it was listed as a vast estate. Not vast, vas, the Latin. Vast is the English. Vas is the Latin, meaning expansive, meaning to cut across many boundaries. You know what I'm saying? So they got us thinking again. They got us believing things about ourselves that's not true. They got us believing that our so-called Indian name, you know what I'm saying, was somehow stronger or have more weight than any connection to Moors. As a matter of fact, they just shut down anything dealing with Moors. So you got to understand, whenever you get black people and white people co-signing something together about a specific class of black people that most people had no knowledge of prior to you or I building on it, then that means that they both working together to keep the secret. You understand? You understand? Because you don't never hear no white people coming out saying black people ain't Moors. That's not what you hear. What you hear is black people, you hear white people calling Moors sovereign citizens. That's something totally different. See, they playing you with the word. They playing us with the words. They ain't never said that you not Moors because they know they can't say that. What they gonna do is get Negroes around you to co-sign you not being Moors. You understand? Because then that allows them to maintain the homogeny system that they've worked out with these black traders. And they are traders. Let nobody tell you or try to convince you that you could be a Crip and a Blood at the same time. That's not how this shit work, man. So if you can't be a Crip and a Blood at the same time, if you can't be the teacher and the student at the same time, then you can't be a Freemason and a Moor at the same time. And I reiterate it because I be really seeing how Moors really be out here trying to act like they ain't hear the prophet when he said that all the secrets was revealed and none of us need to go into anything like that no more. So the fact that these niggas is willfully doing that still and trying to justify it or try to act like the tenets that come from that is somehow more successful than you or I, they wild. They wild. What they're doing is 10%. What they doing is creating a system by which we are in a detriment. You understand? Because everything that this devil do is by bluff. Half the battles that he say that he fought didn't even happen. You understand? Half of the stuff that he say happened didn't even happen. So why are we acting like that? Everything that this nigga say historically wise is true. If I created a fake history and then you have to use my references for that fake history, then even if you come up with aspects of it that may be true, it's still false because what? You're taking my understanding of your history and then trying to justify or go through it by using stuff that I already know is fake. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for instance, for many years, we had our scholars in the community or whatever, and they were doing their thing, and they had certain ways of giving us information, disseminating information. But now, looking back on it, I see that a lot of it still was coming from a place of, put it like this. If you're telling me about Africa, and you're using a Mercator map to do that. You see what I'm saying? And then I'm basing the geography and how the slaves was brought over, everything. And that's all based on the Mercator map, right? With how their maps say that it happened. Then that means that even if all I'm saying is true, it's not going to go all the way or be cemented further in because I'm still using an inferior form of logic, you see, to dissuade this person's opinion. Meaning that if what happened was in the West, but then back in the days, everything that was West was actually East. You see, if I'm using a map today that is describing this as the West, when back in the days was the East, then I'm still not getting a clearer picture as to what happened. Do you understand? Like I saw somebody on Facebook, they posted something and they were showing how the ice age in America was there was an ice age basically that lasted really up into the late 1800s, really. But the most all of the stuff in the northern sections of the planet, you know what I'm saying, was all under ice and snow. So the one was like, well, this is how you know that it was fake. It was nobody here because, you know, blah, 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 because all of this was under snow. I'm like, yeah, but what you gotta understand though is that no civilizations start in the north. All civilizations start in the south. Like they didn't start, like the Nubia didn't start in what we consider Upper Egypt now. What we consider Upper Egypt now is actually Lower Egypt. Like if we're going by their maps and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So when we see Egypt like Cairo, Egypt, that's actually Lower Egypt. Upper Egypt is in what they call Nubia, which is now what? Which was then Abyssinia, which is now what? Ethiopia, right? So again, they want to talk to you and I about, oh, well, there was no Moors here. We weren't here. This was all Indians with feathers and buffaloes and all this, and there was no civilizations, all of that, right? Well, good thing there were actual people who actually painted pictures and stuff. But see what they did after the Renaissance, all these pictures were shuffled up and redistributed so that way they wasn't around the right people to see them. The same way today, most white people who go to HSBCUs, they are the ones that get the Black history education. Black people who go to HSBCUs today, they don't get no Black education. They get European education because the rule of thumb is, well, they're already Black. So they don't really need to know about their culture. Meanwhile, you got all of these HSBC people coming, and it's almost as many white people in these schools, Spelman, Morehouse, this, and that, than white people. You understand? And now they open it up to the trans. So now it's just going to be nothing but transgender. So they already gayed everybody out through the Greek fraternity, sorority, pseudo downstairs Freemason thing. Now they bring in the trannies, the full trannies in there to totally destroy it. The same way they made Juneteenth and the gay pride thing on the same day. Come on, man. And Black people rocking with that? Any Black people bigging up these homosexual people on the same level as your own people is against their own people. You understand? You cannot be both. You got to be one or the other, man. The cracker can be both in a sense because he doesn't believe in anything. But when you and I believe or know or make a definitive stance on something, then it's our responsibility to stay on it because this universe is going to do everything it can to sway you off of that decision. You understand? Therefore, we as men, we don't have the luxury of indecisiveness. If I say I'm going to do something and I say that to this woman, she's going to sit there, may not say nothing, but she's going to sit there and one day peep. She's going to peep if I do it or not because it's her nature to do that. You understand? And then if I don't do it, what happened? She's going to call me to task for it. Why? Because I said I was going to do it. But by the same token, she can tell me that she's going to do something. But if she doesn't necessarily follow through with doing it, the same repercussions don't exist. Because she, unlike me, has a luxury of indecisiveness. Which is a ancient societal norm that has always happened. That has been going on. It's only a problem now that women are trying to be men. So the ruling thumb is that there was no crackers here. There was nobody here. It was only Black people. You know what I'm saying? Nobody else existed. So they want us to believe that stuff like this happened in Morocco over there, you know, which some of it did because that was a colony that we set up over there. But that colony or that kingdom was within our empire, and the empire was situated over here. Period. And it was accepted and acknowledged through, again, the Herds Revised Statute that came out basically when the prophet went and filed the vassal state. So the United States government already know where they at. That's why they had to relinquish the United States jurisdiction in Morocco in 1956. The same year that they let the Kingdom of Morocco over there receive their independence. But guess what? Moors was instrumental in helping them do that too. The groundwork for that was laid by a great Moor named Grand Sheikh F. Turner Eel. Look him up. And he from Brooklyn. And he was instrumental in helping the Moroccan kingdom get their independence. And in that, they owe us. Yeah, and then when Horace Butler, peace to him, when he came out with that book, they all started going crazy on him. Because all he was doing was proving what the prophet said. And you have all these RBG people, all these African, all these Pan-Africanists, all these other people coming out saying, oh, this ain't true, this ain't that, he bugging, this is that, how Egypt gonna be over there, but it's over here. Like this is, and again, no Caucasian people coming out. No Caucasian people coming out saying he bugging. No Caucasian people coming out, you know what I'm saying, doing that. They ain't making no tapes, they ain't dissing his book, none of that. You actually have Caucasian people that's actually using that book in places like Stanford, in places like Yale, in places like Berkeley and all of that. And they're actually going there based upon his information and showing and proving it. Meanwhile, niggas on Facebook are saying whatever they saying. Niggas on YouTube saying whatever they saying. So, back in the days, you have what you called Orientalist painters. And these Orientalist painters painted what they saw in the Orient. The Orient means the extreme, the extreme East. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let me see if I get this. Just like that. So they're trying to say that there was no Moors and nobody here, whatever. Well, one of those painters, one of them came, and his name was Giuseppe Zucchi, right? And he wrote a book. He painted a painting called "The Triumph of America," and this is it. So I know y'all see it. I know y'all see it. This is called "The Triumph of America," and as you can see, who's at the top being carried on a chariot drawn by lions? On a chariot drawn by lions, American lions to be exact. Remember I told you Illinois was El Leones or El Leones or El Lioness. Okay, so there was no Moors here, right? So I'm supposed to believe these is Indians, right? That's what these are. These are Indians with the turbans and the fezzes and the feathers in their heads. Okay. Okay. You see how upon scrutiny, none of this stuff none of this stuff adds up. Because again, they want you to be the object and the subject at the same time. You could be a Moor and a Freemason at the same time. You could be a Crip and a Blood at the same time. You could be gay and heterosexual at the same time. No, you can't. No, you can't. You can't do that. Again, going back to even the Bible. So what's the difference between that picture and this picture? Nothing. It's the same people. It's the same people doing the same thing. Right. So then if they're the same people, why do we have our people making them different? Why is people trying to make us different? Like these is different than me and you today. Why? But if I say I'm Igbo, it's no problem. If I say I'm Hausa, it's no problem. If I say I'm Dogon or whatever, oh, it's really no problem then, right? But if I say I'm Moroccan born in America, now it's an issue, right? You see what I'm saying? Because all these niggas is Freemasons. This is another picture that he did. Now, this is from the opposite side. Now, look. See this pyramid right here? Look, this is the pyramid. See it? Now, look. We're going to see it from the other side later. Look. See? Ruins. So this means that these things was here from, all of this is America. Remember, this series is called The Triumph of America. So again, there's nothing but pyramids in America. Nothing but Tartary structures in America, right? Canals, rivers, all of that here in America. Moors run in America because this is called the Triumph. So if this is the Triumph of America, then the Triumph of America, look, he red, white, and blue. Look. Gets iller. It's like when you could just bust these people down with pictures, you know you're doing something good. Look, here they go again. Look. This is called the Allegory of the Four Continents. Look what they wrote. Look who run in America. Look what America looked like. Now, Europe and Asia is black too, but you know, at least they gave you some truth, gave you the two people. But the two people in the middle, Asia and Europe, supposed to be black too. But look, bookend on both sides, Africa and America. Look at Africa. Look what America got on. America got on a turban and feathers and the same king's robe that you see them wearing in Europe. Don't they wear this? Ain't this what you would see back in the days in King John and King whatever when we was watching European movies? Look, you got the same thing that the Asian dude got on. Same thing that the European dude got on. So you see what I'm saying? So everybody wearing the same clothes, but these two people happen to be white, right? Come on, y'all. Come on. But they got to throw themselves in there somehow. You know what I'm saying? Boom. So this is another one. Look. The merchant receiving the Moor at the harbor. Look. Same type of buildings. You see the structures? See the structures in the back? How it's all basically like old school, like what they would today call Roman, but I'll just right now use the word classical. See? America. This is America. Okay? More. This painting is called, I forget the name of the painting, I'm sorry. Look, America. Look, what you see right here. Look, fezzes. Look, turban, feathers, red, white, and blue. Look, red, white, and blue. All Asiatics, all melanated, melanin-rich people. Where the white people at? Nowhere. How come we ain't never see these pictures about America growing up? Because the so-called whites are the devil. And the devil is never going to tell you the truth about yourself. But when you figure it out, he can't deny it. You know what I'm saying? And now you got the one up. Now you get the right to go back to your own customs, your own people. Look, same people. Moors, both from America and abroad. Look, this is from an old tapestry. Look, both styles. Or Tongton in the land, or Tongton in traveling abroad. Look, same people. Same people. Big up Moors in America. He be going in. Come on, bro. Like the same thing. The same people. Look, they even got the same long staff this dude got. Look. Same joint. Him. Her. Moors. Not Indians. Like you can call them Indians if you want, but that's derogatory. Because Indian means slave. You be better calling them Indus. They from the Indus. That's better. Because at least then you bringing in Harappa and all of that. There go another one. From the whole series, from the dude Giuseppe Zucchi. Look. The Moors at the harbor. Look. That look like canoes to you? Does it look like a canoe? You just kill these niggas with pictures. Look, here go another one. This one crazy. America. See the Moors? The Moor running it. Look at the Moor running it. Everybody around him. Look. Got his foot up. Bowing to him. His soldiers. Bowing. Look. The other Moor up here. Look at this one in the Pharaoh's crown. That's the crown of Egypt. Right? The white Mamaluk slaves. Look. Naked. They ain't even got no clothes on. How come we ain't see these pictures of America growing up? Because they need you to believe that you're not even from here. It's another painting that he did. Old America. Look. This is just one. This is just one guy. So other thing I want to show you here. You see how these Moors back here? Look, back here. See how they got on the Roman palliament? Ain't that how the Romans used to wear their joint? Yeah. And didn't the Romans speak Latin? Where'd they get the Latin from? See, they leaving the Almoricanos Estados out of it. We was there at the fall of Rome because the Moors that went into Spain from North Africa came from North, Central, and South America. Northern Africa over there, that little kingdom, that was part of the so-called Barbary, extended Barbary states. You had the Barbary states, and then you had the Barbary powers. But again, Moors like to use words interchangeably like the devil. So they think that, again, they can be one and both the same thing. They think that they can be both. That's why I love defecating on them with the real science, because they are the problem. They're the reason why this cracker feel he can still do the stuff that he be doing with us. Because he's co-signed by these guys. When all these people ever were was slaves. Because they were savage. Because they were literally stabbing, eating. They were eating us. They were eating themselves. They were defecating on themselves to keep warm. Get the book Making of the White Man by Paul Lawrence Guthrie. Get this book, man. Read about these things. And how savage they was. Savage. Okay? The opposite of civilized. Totally savage. Which means to have no civilization. You understand? We had to literally, to civilize these people, we had to chain them to books. We had to literally force them to bathe. We had to chain them up in dungeons and just spray water on them for hours. And these are the people you want to have babies with? These are the people you think is better than your own people? That's only because you don't know. That's only because these Moors, these black people don't know who they are. They don't know. They don't know. Right now, if you was with somebody and you was about to talk to them and be with them, and I was to bring you a bunch of pictures, straight up proof of this dude eating babies, raping people, shooting people for no reason, all of that, would you still want to be with this person? You know what? Some people would. Here, get this book to read more about what I'm talking about with the slaves. Look, they don't talk about these books. The Ottoman Empire's elite slave army, the Janisaries. Get this book. Tell you how we used to clean these people up. And then it got to the point where they were feverish when it came to going back, now that they were civilized and cleaned up, to go there and get other Caucasian people. These is the ones. The Mamalukes. From the Janisaries, we got the Mamalukes. From the Mamalukes, they was appointed Days. And then from the Days and the Mamalukes, we get the Scottish Rite Freemasons and the rest of these guys. Because the Moors, again, are the officers of the Isle of Man, who summons the court for the several sheddings. The office is similar to the English bailiff of 100. The hundreds, a bailiff of 100 is another way of saying a CEO of a multinational corporation. The bailiff of the hundreds that they're talking about are the British East India companies and the British corporate companies, because they went in and turned all of the countries into corporations, basically, and held them as companies in trust, and then used that time to destroy and destabilize the rest of the people. Look at these black people. These is 2 black people here, you know. This is the King and Queen of England in the picture. And look who's behind them. This is from a book in English law from Oxford College. So again, when we talk about rulers of Europa, Moors, right, all being Nazarene / Christian, right, and then behind them you have the greater Moors of the empire. And see how we was together. This is how Moors used to sit. We used to sit just like this with each other, because we was in unit. So let's show and prove that the Moors from over here went over there. I did. Y'all saw the last joint I did with the I mean, y'all was in class, so y'all remember. But the one that I just posted on Facebook again. Y'all seen that? Okay. So y'all seen all of them maps, Granada and all of that. You already know. The big homie, the Moor, the brother, said he was watching the tape and he just happened to be going through some other maps. Now, you want to find real good maps on ancient America? These maps are called septentrional maps. A septentrional map is what they call a map of the extreme west. So this is a map of the Al-Maghreb Al-Aqsa, or the Al-Aqsa, which means supreme west. Everybody got it? Okay. Oh, here go another one real quick. Again, America. This is America. Look, but this one is this chariot is being pulled by 2 black rhinos. When you ever heard of rhinoceri being in America? These are all Moors, and you see the theme, red, white, and blue. So that means this has always been the colors for the Moors over here. Islam. Look how they built a structure. They built some sort of scaffolding, like to go up into whatever this is. Look at that. This shows technology. This shows mathematics. This shows architecture. You understand? This shows know-how, ingenuity, right? This is gold. Look, this is a gold chariot throne. The same one your man is in right here. Look, same throne. Look. But his was carried by lions. His is carried by black rhinos. But you know what the cracks are going to say? Oh, well, this is like a allegorical, whimsical idea of how they idealized the old Indian America. You know how these devils do. And then they'll get you'll have the saltine cracker spouting that, and then you'll have the graham cracker coming in with the cleanup to make sure that we know that none of this was actually what we are seeing it is. Okay. So again, we grew up in America our whole life. How come we ain't never seen this? All they show us is slave stuff. Why? Because the people that they showing us is probably not even our ancestors. They probably the ones that our ancestors locked up in the plantations because they came over here with the Portuguese to take our land. Because they had all converted to demonic Christianity, Western Christianity, and decided that they had the right to come over here with the cracker and do the same thing he was doing to us. And we wasn't having it. Look, another one. Now this is a repainted version. This is a repainted version of Giuseppe Zocchi's painting. And as you can see, the motifs and everything is the same, but the complexion is a little different. See, look at the pyramids. Look at the ruins. Look at the cities. These are cities, Mo. You know what I'm saying? So as you can see, look, the red flag, the red, white, and blue flag, the fez in the turban, the Moors. See? But again, you know, they look at this picture, and again, this is supposed to be America. You know what I mean? Anybody have any questions? Let me see. Okay, 1 second. I'm telling you, that's what monkeys do. They just imitate you. And they're the best at it. They literally assumed our identities. Again, this is America, as they say, you know, for lack of a better word, pardon the pun. But this is what they refer to as the emblems of America. The emblem, meaning like this is the symbol. This was the symbol of what America was to the world prior to a certain time. So this is the emblem of America. This is the emblem of Africa. Understand? Look, we got pine trees and palm trees and the waterfall, right? Anybody have any questions? Mm-hmm. Because the South because the southern portion of America is South America. You understand what I'm saying? The southern portion of America, i.e., I'm in Andalus, right? So Andalus, Florida, let's say, Louisiana, like everything in the South of America is South America. So when you're in Florida, that's the southern portion of America. When you're in Georgia, that's in the southern portion of America. You get it? They got you thinking that South America is all the way down there in Peru. This is what I'm trying to tell you. They got us messed up. We don't even realize that the southern portion of the country we in is South America. So I'm in South America right now. Just like if you're in New York right now, you're in the northern portion of America. You understand? You're in North America. You get it? They got us bugging. We don't even know. We don't even know. We just be out here. So that's that. So then boom, let's look at this. This is why, again, when I say that the Moors came from Northern Africa, which is North America, North, Central, and South America, and went into so-called España and set that up, we did that. Why? Remember I showed you that old map? Now that map, those maps from that other tape, I was just going through stuff and I was researching the viceroyalty of, because I used that whole thing in a court case. That's how I know it's real. And once I put the map and all that into this case, these people is jammed up. They don't know what to do now. They don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. You know what? I knew that. I'm gonna get back to you on that. I had a list of all of them. I just gotta find it. But Georgia's heavy in Massey territory though, regardless. Now look, here's another picture of Granada in the fall, right? Look, what do you notice about these people? These is all the Moors, right? They got the stronghold. They're in civilization. Look over behind these people. They not even, there's no buildings or nothing coming from where they coming from. But what do you notice about the two armies in this fresco? Make it bigger. What do you notice? Exactly, Rodney. Both are dark people. These people is just as black as these people. The only white person in the whole picture is this dude who's acting on behalf of Ferdinand. But this ain't Ferdinand. This is the exaggeration. This is where he exaggerated at, because this part never happened. Boabdil never bowed to him and none of that. They just left. So what this says is showing you the difference. See how he's a little lighter than this dude, though? Because this is what happened. They light-skinned children put the Mamalukes at the head of the army to fight everybody else, because the Spaniards, who were Romans at the time, were all the children of these dudes. And the Circassian and the what you call it slaves that they had babies with. You understand? Exactly, these people, what you really think we was going to give up our nation, our kingdom to somebody who didn't even look like us? That's what we believe. That may be good on the movies, but that's not what happened. We fell to our own people. And then the group of our people that worked with these other guys got together to then destabilize all of us. And then once we was destabilized, the so-called Africans who didn't have the Portuguese and the so-called Spanish and these people, see what it was when they got the right for the land back, they titles, whatever happened, Boabdil or El Zagar, whoever it was, gave them their titles back. That was the problem. And then once their titles was given back, they said, oh, well, we got our titles, so now we got the means to be able to exert our influence on the world. Because remember, these is Romans. These are all Romans up until 1497. The kingdom went into foreclosure in 1491. By 1492, they came to foreclose. By the end of 1492, we set up the surrender of Granada to make it so that way we could get everything back after a certain amount of time. 1493, they come over here and start setting up shop and destroying everybody. You know what I'm saying? To make it so we couldn't get it back. Yes. So this is America. This is where those Moors came from. And you know that they happened because after those Moors left, they followed them over here. If those Moors were from Northern Africa, Morocco, how come they just didn't invade Morocco? They didn't invade Morocco until the 1500s. The Morocco over there, I mean. To the 1500s. This is who was occupying Peru back during these time periods we talking about. People look like this. Right? Okay, 1 second. Because most of the stuff they talking about, they didn't even do. It didn't even happen. They just wrote like it did, and then they put it in the books after they killed all of us. This is why they didn't want niggas to read. This is why they would kill you if you didn't read. This is why you got niggas like R. Kelly and Floyd Mayweather and other niggas today that still can't read. But they billionaires, they millionaires. What does one black billionaire have? Look, Byron Allen been a billionaire for mad long. And I'm sure that he employs people, but has Byron Allen being a billionaire, or Oprah being a multimillionaire, or any so-called black man or black woman being a multimillionaire, has that changed your life and enhanced your life in any way? Have they ever broke bread with you? Have you seen the result of any of the charities or any of the community outreach programs that they have in your community? There's what? There's almost 30 of us in this class. So somebody has to, based on the law of averages, somebody has to been able to benefit from this thing somehow, right? Yeah, Byron Allen stay in court getting his money. But what I'm asking y'all is, what's up with that? How come you don't know anybody who has been a billionaire? Now, half of their money, I'm sure some of us, if not many of us, have actually supported these people in whatever endeavors that they've been into or whatever, at different points, whether it be buying an album or, buying a t-shirt or whatever. So we've contributed to their success. What I'm asking you is, have you ever seen any black celebrity, anyone in the history of black celebritydom that has benefited you or anybody in your direct community? Have you seen that ever? So therefore, that doesn't exist. Okay? So that don't exist. So that's never happened. So that means we can say that they've never helped anybody but themselves. So what do I care if Jay-Z's a billionaire? Does that help me? And let's not act like this is all based on merit and hard work. Let's not act like that. We are too old and naive. We're not that naive anymore, man. We got to be straight up on what we know it to be. If you've never seen it, then it's never happened. If it's never happened, then it's a lie. Period. Right? It's just a lie. So if it's a lie, then let's say that it's a lie. Let's stop acting like the lie is the truth. Let's stop acting like these people are there to help you. That's not what this world is about. That's not what they do with Moors. What they do with Moors is want you to doubt yourself. But then every so often, they throw something out there to let you know just how much they love Moors and how much they know we don't know nothing. So this is Westminster Abbey when nobody is there. Like when everybody is not in the seats, this is how it looks, how each one of the people who will be sitting in the seats to mark the place where the people would be. This is where I look. Notice anything? Notice anything? Oh no, but these are lights. Those are lampshades, right? You know how these non-believers do, and these Freemasons to keep their secret. You know how they're gonna do. They're gonna come up with every reason as to say what they not. But this is obvious to me when I saw this. And this is in Westminster Abbey. Everything in here means something. So this basically represents where each one of us would be sitting if we was in session back in controlling this thing. Islam. Because there's a graveyard in Europe. I'm gonna find the thing. Somebody posted it. And they have these as the tombstones. So let me get this. See where I know it's real too? Because this looked like the same type of architecture. Wait. is it at? 1 second, guys. 1 second. See? See the columns? See the columns? See? See the buttress as it comes up? Steps. Same type of steps. Because all of this is probably in America, yo. Exactly. Because the fez is the light. That's a symbol of the light. Right? So then to show and prove, like I said, to go back to this, same type of Tartarian architecture. And you can see the world is flat behind them. Is the ocean. Right? All behind them. And living in places like this. So when you see them around these ruins and stuff, what you're seeing is the evidence of all of the old world. So all of them statues and stuff that they had over here, and all of them palaces and stuff, this is it. But they got us thinking that none of that stuff was here. That just like they got us believing that you could land on Mars. You could actually go inside the planet and actually, pick up rocks and fly to the moon and all of this stuff. Like, yo, man, you understand? They got grown people believing that lie. A lie. Just again searching through Google, looking for more stuff on Giuseppe. This came up. This the four corners. This the four corners of the planet. Somebody named The Melanin Within, I guess, found it, reposted it. Kings of the East, West, North, and South. The Ciprianius, also known as the Black Book. Now, the Black Book was a book that was written in a place called Wittenberg. The Wittenberg, or the Black Book of Wittenberg, was actually taken back, is an older book by a group of Moors that were called the Wittenagemon. I spoke about them in that Breakaway Society tape I did. Yeah, God. Yeah, they do. They go crazy because they're not doing this, because this is a divine international movement. You are 50% physical, 50% spiritual. If you only doing one more than the other, you losing out. You're not balanced. That's why Moors, that's only about the money, the commerce, the this, the that, always going back and forth, the UCC, the secure party creditor, all that stuff, like all that's extra stuff for people that had to do that stuff because they wasn't Moors. We don't got to do half that stuff, and we actually get more. So right here, it's showing you that on four corners of the earth, this right here is the east. So this would be, what we consider Asia. You know what I'm saying? This is the south. So this is, all of Southeast Asia, Cambor, Wap, and all of that. Look at these animals, though. Look how big these animals are. Then this one, this is the west. Then this is the south. What is this? We don't even know what this thing is. Look, this dude feeding sea giants, King Ghidorah or whatever from Godzilla King of the Monsters. This is what we doing. We feeding these things. Look at this thing. What is this? It look like it's some sort of black lion with horns. Like what? I don't even know what this is. Maybe this is a bear. I don't know. But what I do know is everybody on all four corners is just as dark, just as melanated. They're wearing crowns. They're wearing fezzes. They're wearing turbans. And this is from the 18th century. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to think they flipped this stuff up not too long ago, bro. It wasn't that long ago. Look, another example of what I'm talking about. Just Moors running stuff, living together with other different types of Moors. Look, here he go. Here go the Moor. Here go like the Inuit. Here go the other Moor. Here go they slave. Look at the little white boy. Here go they slave. Here go the little Asian / let's say Spanish dude with his little slave. You see? And look, they standing right in front of the cannon. This is a cannon back here. This is a cannon. So this is obviously a Moor, and he obviously is the one asking him to show and prove. But they don't show us them pictures. But we're supposed to believe that this is a slave, that they just let slaves walk around with gilded feathers and everything on. Okay. So they always talk to you about Cordoba, right? So they talk to you, you've heard of, okay, so for as far as your information, where do you know Cordoba is? What is Cordoba? Where's Cordoba famous from? Or when we speak of the Moors, where's Cordoba? Okay, great. We all know that. Well, guess what? This is the flag. You know, Moors, we love flags. This is the flag of the 3 guarantees. Okay? This is the flag of the 3 guarantees. We're going to get into what the 3 guarantees are in a minute. This is the flag Okay, that's the flag of the 3 agreements. Okay? This is the flag One second, y'all. Let me get these out. One second. One more. Bear with me 1 second, guys. Okay, now you ready? Big up to the brother from Moorish history, world history on Instagram or whatever pages. I don't have Instagram, Twitter, or any of that stuff. So I don't know. So every once in a while, somebody send me stuff from that shows me that this stuff I'm doing is really getting out there, because they be doing stuff like this. So look, this is the flag of the Moorish diaspora. Okay, that's me holding the book. View. Okay, y'all see this, right? That's me holding a book. This is one of the compendium books I'll be compiling for people, whatever. This is right here is the flag of the Moorish diaspora. This is a naval flag of the Moors of the ancient Moroccan Empire. So when Moors were in different parts of the world in the kingdom, and something was to happen and they needed to find a place where they could go and be Moors and be protected or whatever, this was the flag. If they saw this flag flying, they would go there because this was the flag of the diet of the diaspora of all of us after 1492. Okay? Indeed. Right? So, peep this. So that's that flag, right? This flag, like I told you, is the flag of the three agreements. What is the three agreements? The three agreements is based on where did I put it? Hit that. Oh man, 1 second. Okay. The three agreements are related to this thing, this flag. This flag of the three agreements was established at or during or at the conclusion of what they call the Treaty of Cordoba, right? The Treaty of Cordoba was established. The Treaty of Cordoba is what established the Mexican independence from Spain at the conclusion of the Mexican Independent War, because it was signed on August 24th, 1821, where in Cordoba, Veracruz, Mexico. The signatories were the head of the army of the three guarantees. These are the three Moorish republics that had basically worked together to then form what became Mexico after they broke away from Spain. Islam, in the treaty, New Spain is recognized as an independent empire. Islam, I ain't going to go through the whole thing. You can read it. The crown of the Western Empire was offered first to Ferdinand of Spain, and boom, she should not present herself in Mexico within the time of the determined Mexican Cortes Parliament to take the oath of office. It will be offered in sequence to his brothers. And his brothers, again, i.e. Moors, they were going back to the original faction. And because they had three casamatres that was going to back them up, they basically were able to have their own. So the same way that the titles was taken by the Romans, by the Moors, and the Almoracanos back at the fall of Rome, at the fall of Granada, the titles of the Romans was given back to the Romans under the behest of the Moor Boabdil as a god, these dirty niggas. And then once they did it, we languished with no titles up until the 1500s. So this is in the 1500s this went down. The Treaty of Cordoba, Mexico, because wherever the Moors were was that. But guess what? These three kingdoms, you can see it on Wikipedia, just so you see it real quick. Look, right? You look this up, the Treaty of Cordoba. Also, you need to get a copy of that, because that also shows that we are independent in our own nation, because before with Spain, it was what? Islam? Before with Spain, it was what, Moors? Yeah, that was the major city in it. But what was the name of the place? What was they calling the place? Nope. Where did the Moors live? What was it called? Starts with a G. Ah, yes. Granada. Now, I showed you all of the places in the world where Granada was at, right? Now, these people was the Moors that was breaking up their situation under the Treaty of the Three Guarantees. You see the flag. This is the flag of the Treaty of the Three Guarantees, right? Now, we know this one and this one together is the what? The diaspora flag, right? Right? These together. So I just told you, whenever you see these two colors together in a flag, or at least you see this flag or similar aspects to that canton, you would know that this is where the Moors is at, right? Okay. Well, guess what? There was another thing that before the treaty of all of that, back going all the way back now, when we had the Emirates of Cordoba. Now it says, after the Umayyad conquest of Hispania, which is Hispaniola, right? The Iberian Peninsula was established a province under the Umayyad Caliphate, right? Now the Umayyad royal family refused to recognize the authority of the Abbasid Caliphate and became an independent emir at Cordoba. Now they was all the same. They were all under Abdur Rahman, right? Now as you can see, here you go. Look at the Moor. You see the Moor. And remember, he got a beard. When the last time you seen Africans with beards on? So that means when you seeing beards in these people in the ancient world, Moors, and the beard gene is not indigenous to the so-called African. What are they saying? We're saying that these people that you see with beards is coming from a certain place where people had beards. And where was that? That was right here. So the Emirates of Cordoba, Library of Congress, the Treaty of Cordoba established the conquest in Hispania and Hispaniola, which is Spain, right? Or Hispaniola, which Hispaniola is Spain, but it's also what? Haiti and Dominican Republic today, right? Okay. So now I just showed you something. Now we done established that the Emirates of Cordoba, right, which led to the establishment of the Treaty of the Three Guarantees, which established the independence of what we call Mexico, named after King Mesha, the Moabite, right? All of that was based on the Emirates of Cordoba, right, who got into beef because once they took control of Hispaniola, or Hispania, they decided they wanted to have their own thing and it broke away. Because you have four different provinces. Remember, the three guarantees represent the 3 or 4 different people that was down with it. So look right here. It says that the Muslim rulers in the area who had defeated the Umayyad rule and united various local fiefdoms into an emirate. However, this unification of Al-Andalus under Abdur ar-Rahman still took more than 25 years to complete. Where? Toledo, Zaragoza, Pamplona, Barcelona, right? There's a Toledo in Ohio, right? And Toledo, Ohio, the Kingdom of Spain gave up its jurisdiction in 1833. In the Kingdom of Toledo, gave up the jurisdiction in 1833. How many of you knew that the state of Ohio was established in 1833? So that's a coincidence? Now I'm showing you the Emirates of Cordoba, right, who were now in beef with the Abbasid Caliphate, now is trying to set up their own thing, and then in that, they caught the beef with the rest of the Moorish Empire, right? And in that, they try to consolidate Toledo, Zaragoza, Pamplona, and Barcelona. Now, if you get an exotic map of the United States, you will find all 3 of these names, these countries, these kingdoms here in the United States, North America. Because these are the Northwest territories connected to the Northwest Ordinance, which set about the proper cataloging of all of the Moorish Empire that was now being broken up and put into fictitious states for management. Look, wow, watch me blow your mind. Look at this. So this is the flag of what you call it, right? Y'all seen this. This is the flag of the three agreements, right? Look, this is the flag of Mussolini and them. This is the flag of Mussolini and them. Wasn't he Italian? Okay. Okay, well, wait, it gets iller. Look, this is the flag of Mexico. Look, with the feathered serpent. With Haru, right? As above, so below. Look, feathered serpent. Look at the crescent. Look at the crescent. Now wait, it gets iller. Now I just showed you. All of these flags is the same flag coming out the diaspora. You understand? We're not making this up. They all share the same color. According to the Bexology, for people that don't know, Bexology is the science and the study of flags. If any flags have the same colors, that means they're in the same familial national haplogroup. Islam? Look, but then this, look, this the low-key flag of the Miccosukee Seminoles. Look at that. So look where we came from. So we started with this. We're going into this. Excuse me. We started with this. Then from there, we get into this. Right? Then eventually gets into this. Right? Then eventually gets into this. See what I'm saying? This is why the Seminoles went over to Mexico. John Horse and them went to Mexico. That's why Santa Anna went and took back control of the Alamo, which is one of the oldest mosques built by the Almohad. Alamo. Come on, Moors. Alamo. Then we got Alamo. But then we got Almohad. Come on, Moors. You see what I'm saying? They just move words around because these people fight. We fought battles. Battles. Europeans, devils, cheaters, slave Africans fought battles. Battles. A battles is when you fight a war on paper that was not fought physically. Islam? This is why they reenact the Civil War all the time, because it ain't happened like that. This is why they got to dress up and reenact this history every year, everything, because it didn't happen like that. And this is what they had to do to entrain their people to understand it. So remember, the Supremacy Clause says that treaties are the law of the land. So now we're going to tie it up in a nice big bow. This is why Mussolini, when he went into, where did he invade? He invaded Ethiopia. Why? Because Ethiopia is what set up Rome. The Aroma people went from Ethiopia and built the first thing up there and then eventually set up what we call the Roman state after the fall of Carthage. They did that. Romulus was half Ethiopian because those Romans at that time wasn't white. They were a bunch of misconfused, crazy, hyper-violent black people. Same way you got a bunch of gangbangers in the hood right now. Why we act like this is something new? Same way you got a bunch of bloodthirsty niggas in the hood right now that's ready to kill you, kill this one, flip the ops, get the kill script, right? Catch your niggas lacking. Like, The same thing. This is what Roman. That was the Roman ideology. Conquest through hostile takeover. So when Mussolini, being Italian, being half Sicilian, meaning Moorish, when he went in and did what he needed to do, he decided to go back and take over the real Rome. Why you think Ethiopia is the only place that ain't never been in Africa that ain't been invaded? Why you think Ethiopia, they say, is the capital of Africa? Why? But all the other African nations starving, but the Ethiopians good? Come on, bro. And the Ethiopians, the ones that's running the government and was doing all that stuff now, they not even the original ones. The original ones was the ones that started when the capital was at Liabella. This is going back almost thousands of years. Damn Ethiopians got kicked out of Southeast Asia for doing all that stuff they was doing with the cows. And then they moved up into the eastern horn of Africa, into the what they call the Horn, or what they call the Little Horn. Isn't that one of the name of the devil? They call it the Little Horn. And they went in there and then they got rid of that. And then they established Axum and then moved the capital from Liabella to Axum. Why you think that the Abyssinian Empire why you think the Byzantine Empire was a vassal under the Abyssinian Empire? Yes. So when Mussolini went back in there, this is what he was doing. This is him as the Moor, the original representing the Carthaginian people, going in there, shutting down the fake invader. And when this happened, where did Selassie go? Did he go to any other African nation for asylum? Where did he go? Thank you. Thank you. Selassie, one of the only people you done ever seen Queen Elizabeth or any of them niggas bow to, right? This is why. Because they grafted them, because they up under all of them. That's why they split Rome up. Constantine stayed in the East. Constantine moved everything to Byzantium, and then they all started speaking Macedonian Greek. What's the name of them stayed in the East, and they kept speaking the Latin. Right? This is why after Mussolini and them fell, black people here in America lost 25 million acres of land. Because it's the same war. Being peopled by one family, and we bugging, we looking at it like we not even involved. This whole shit is happening because we're not involved, because we're letting them use our names, and we scared to take them back because we want to be Africans. But at the time that all of this was happening, did you see me mention Africa at all? No, because this has nothing to do with Africa. Africa was the throne. This is the home. We rule the world from Africa, if that's the case. It's all connected, man. It's the same thing. If they all got the same colors and they flag, they all fighting the same fight. They all fighting the same fight on the same side. So we just showed and proved that Cordoba was here, and from Cordoba, the 3 agreements is what led to us all being free. And the people that led them 3 agreements with that flag established the flag in commiseration with the red, green, and white that eventually became Mexico, and it was adopted as that. So you mean to tell me that Mexico got a red, white, and green flag, right? The Miccosukee Seminoles from Florida, Mexico, got a red and white flag. El Duque got a red and whatever flag. The Moors got one. Lebanon got one. Think about it, Moors. Why you think the colors of Christmas is red, green, and white? Because we gifted them this world. We gifted it to them. When you see Santa Claus, what he got on? He got on red and white. The tree is what? Green. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we bugging. We bugging now. So look, let's put these people in the coffin. Look, here you go. Somebody, Great Moor sent me this. Look, this is a colorized picture of the Queen of Hawaii, man. This who they sick the zombies on to take over the country. Look, she got on the same colors that you see in Colombia, in the Colombian flag, right? Right. Oh yeah, I didn't show you this. I ain't even get into all of the text on this one. It's just so much. I was just like, let's go left brain. Let's just use pictures this week. Like, I get better glasses anyway. There's one in particular I'm looking for y'all. Anybody have any questions? Yeah, we the real 5. We the real 5%. We the real 85%. We the real 10%. We're depending on what avenue we choose to get this knowledge, we could be any of it or none of it. But those of us that know the truth know the real. Look, there's an old emblem, another old picture of the Moors in session. Look at all the feathers and the turbans. Look, this is America, yo. This is Giuseppe. Look. See all the turbans? Look the feathers. Capes. What it would be like to just live in that world again, y'all. You don't even know. Well, y'all do, because y'all live in the same reality I'm living. Here go another one. Old America. Look, this is how we was living, bro. Like, this is how we living. Again, look at the fez. Look at the fez. So we just established that all of that stuff, we the Moors from here in North Africa went up into there, and then we set everything off. And then once we set it off, we rocked it for like 900 years, and then boom. So any of us that fall under the 14th Amendment is a problem. Why? Because of this. At the time of the 14th Amendment was ratified, individuals and joint stock companies were appealing for congressional administrative protection against invidious and discriminating state and local taxes. You see, this is them reburnishing us, putting us under their fake shit to pay them money that we naturally own because we own the land. That complaints of oppression in respect of property and other rights made by citizens of the northern states who took up residence in the South were rife in and out of Congress. None of us can forget. Those who devised the 14th Amendment wrought in grave sincerity. They planted in the Constitution a monumental truth to stand four square to whatever wind might blow, that the truth is the golden rule, so entrenched as the curve, whatever. So I'm just wrote that to show you that all 14th Amendment citizens are joint stock companies. Islam? So when you tell them niggas that you're not a citizen, that comes from this book called The American Nation by John D. Hicks. You can get that at your leisure. So anybody telling you the opposite is an op, most likely. Oh yeah, I wanted to just show you this real quick on this little painting. As you can see, this is the land of the Moors. This is America. I showed you the thing, but I wanted to show you this specifically to show you again who's on top. See, this is the Moor. This whole picture is centered around this Moor and his people's moving up. But at the very top of the finial, this is called the finial, what do you see? See it? I see it. Plain as day. That's right. And if I show you, the coats of arms of these things. Look, what's that? What's that at the top? Oh, that's Brazil, right? Okay. Well, look, what's this? Let me find another one. Because now I'm trying to show them to you. Watch, they try to tell. Oh, here they go. Yeah, boom. Look. There they go. Yes. But not only is it on that, which is another emblem of America, it's on all of them. Or most of them. Now, you know, these was white up until a couple of years ago. All of these things was white. Was black up until a couple of years ago. But as you see the fezzes, look, see the fez, they not playing, look. You see? So this is the sign of rulership and freedom and liberty throughout the entire world. That's why nobody wears it but the Moors. That's why nobody wear it publicly but the Moors. Because we the only ones that's free. Everybody else is under somebody else's other jurisdiction, under their ideology, under what they believe, under their government, under this, under that. We're not with any of that. We don't got to do none of that. You know why? Because we started in the land of our forefathers. And you know what that is? Right here. What does that say, Morse? Look, America Septentrionalis, meaning America of the farthest west, Al-Aqsa, basically. Yeah, but what does this say right here? Look, what does it say right here? Right, but what does this also say? What does that also say? Look. Right, Hispania or Hispaniola, but I thought Hispaniola or Hispania was in Spain or in Haiti. How is that in the Gulf of Mexico? How is Granada on mainland America? Okay. So again, Moors, they lying. They all lying. We already in Spain. We already in Granada. We already in Amexem. We already in all these places. They only moved us based on them fighting battles. You see the difference? You see what I'm saying? Between that battle and that battle situation? Two different words, spelled somewhat similar, but totally different meanings. But again, because Moors think that they could be Muslims and Muslims, you see? They think it's the same thing, but it's not. But it's not. And no matter how much they want it to be, because they don't like people like me always sticking to the fact that it's not the same, they want to create the confusion to say that it isn't. You don't believe anything I'm saying about it? You want to get this book. See if I can pull it up. Get this book. What every Italian should know. After reading this book, like I said, I got the treaty of, I had the Moor order the treaty of, of United States and the treaty between the United States and Italy. Joint is the bomb, because that goes right back now with the Treaty of Cordoba. Because now we can do them in line. We can do all the treaties in succession as they happen. And they all just act as different aspects of our land. But I just showed and proved again, Granada, we ain't never left. We've been right here. They just moved it on paper. And then because we was fighting amongst ourselves and we didn't want to want to work with each other to do nothing, they was able to keep the history. Then they got enough of us to co-sign it. You see what I'm saying? And then it all went to hell. And now we've been lost ever since. Anybody any questions? Yeah, I want you to see it for yourself. That's Granada, right? I'm not bugging. That's right here. John D. Hicks. So that means it was always here. That means, like I said, when it fell over there, they had to come back where we originally from, the people who did it. They not like the United States. The United States knew that Osama bin Laden ain't blow up that building. They knew it. But they wanted to get into Iraq because they have to follow the plan for the new American century. And that says they need to destabilize Iraq, Sudan, Syria, Saudi Arabia, and Sudan. They're working on Sudan right now. Look, here go Moors from the land, or Tongton is from the land. Here go Moors that's probably from the land, but is doing the international trading. And you see the difference between them two, right? So I'm showing and proving to you Moors and so-called Indians together, working together. But no, they need you to be separate because they want you to be an Indian. They want you to be everything other than what you are. So to show and prove of that, look, this is a book written by a fake Siberian / Mexican. Because now they out here saying this dude, Gabriel Haslip Vieira, all of the pictures he using is all pictures painted after the 1600s. And he trying to say that these people, this right here is here on this planet longer than you. And he's trying to say that this person is the same person. That's what he's saying. Look at the nostril pattern, bro. Black people, this dude, they be just lying. They just be lying because it's all coming out. Because if worse came to worse and everybody had to go back to where they was from, the only people that would be left here is me and you. Everybody else would be going somewhere else. Facts. So get that book to see how they going in. Get this book too. Get this joint. So again, we was already here. We were here for so long that people forgot how long we was here. So they want to act like we from somewhere else. That's how long we've been here. Buildings like these was built by your ancestors here in America. Again, this is in America. But they had to get rid of this type of architecture and hide it amongst the fake, ugly stuff that they be building today. So the same way they could not get on a boat or, a spaceship and fly to the moon and all that is the same way they could not get and build anything that looks like these buildings. That's how you know they didn't do it. And these types of architecture buildings are all over the world. And that proves that we was all over the world. Look, here go Moors at the Opelika courthouse here in Florida in the 1800s. Just go to show you how long that Moorish courthouse been there. It's from 1870, 1890. Another picture. See how it says Colchian? Colchian, the Colchis is like Colchia was, or Colchia or Colchian was the ancient name of the Scotian peoples that dwelt in Scotia and then eventually came back over here. The Scotian colony in what is now Scotland started by those Moors that left after the Sea Kings invaded so-called Tartary, and then they went up into Scotia. And the queen, her name was Scotia. She was the daughter of the pharaoh, and she took a contingent up in there in what's today Scotland. And then from there, those inhabitants came back over here and landed in a place they call Nova Scotia, meaning New Scotia, or the new land of Queen Scotia. And the Nova Scotian Moors are also referred to as the French Arcadians, or the Frenchmen, who were the original French Empire here in America, because I just showed you Hispania, España, as well as Hispaniola was right here. See? La Florida here, the Isle of Flowers over here. But look at all of these cities. Look at this city right here in Granada is called Aslan. Like Atslan, like Atlantia, like Atlantis. Look, I'm not bugging. Look. Y'all see it? Astatlan. Aztlan. Like the Aztecs, right? Who Cortez says was Moors. Yeah. Yeah, God. Like, look. So, again, man, see, remember I was talking about Mexico was named after King Mesha or Meshi. Look, there go Meshi. Right there. Hispaniola, Hispania, Nova. So the Almoricanos Estados, so the Almoricans or the Almoricanos, we was running the world from this side of the world that way. Then after 1492, it got broke up and then it switched up until the late 1800s, and around which they doing it again, running the whole world from over here. That ain't nothing new. That's how we been running it. Because everything started here. Look, native Moor from here. Look, another Moor native, but look, he got his fez and his turban and his tassel and his beads and his fruit. Look at him smoking his chief. Look at him with the same Apache headscarf that you see on the Moorish flags, like in Corsica, you see a Moorish flag, right? A Moorish head with a joint just like this. When you ever see them like that, that person or that Moor in that picture is referring to is a Hebrew. Anybody any questions? So this is why the nationality thing is the order of the day, because that orders the days. You dig? That's what orders the days, bro. Moors. This is the sign. This is the born stone, a copy of the born stone, how it looked. This is what has your rulership. So when you get the consecrated talisman book and then you order the whole thing from Prince Uriel Bey, this ties that book and that contract number, whatever, ties directly back to this. This is why it's legal precedent. Exactly. And in that movie, The Last Knight, what did he do? He was the Moorish knight running everything, but he was lax. His son died, so he couldn't pass it on to his own son. So what did he have to do? He had to take the Mameluke, right? He had to take the Mameluke in the movie and turn him into a Janissary. And the Mameluke was basically the one to help hold down the kingdom until another heir could be produced. I'll get the science on that, and then you hit me up at houseofella@hotmail.com. maybe Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll have a better idea of it because they didn't tell me none of that when I went and ordered it. See the difference? Look at all the Moors standing up. Look at all them on the ground. What's the difference? They all turbaned up, fezzed up, gripped up, standing tall, standing on the square. Look at these dudes all laying down, lax on the floor, begging. That's what's going on today. That's why they don't like you, Moors. They want you to claim to be something that you're not. So again, to reiterate, I have nothing against people from the continent of Africa. Not one thing. What I have a problem with is when the United States propaganda machine created a fictitious history that says that I am the complexion I am because my mother was raped, my great grandmother was raped by some sort of white man, and the only way that black people can be white is if they have a light skin, is if they got somebody white in their family. This is the narrative. This is how they created this world for us to be. This is how they pumping it. No, that's not what happened at all. What happened at all is I was already here. My ancestors was already here. These people only got here in the past 243 years. People being, it takes 600 years to graft the devil out. So if we're going to be familiar, let's double that. I'll say they've been here for the past 1,000, 1,200 years. Other than that, there's no sign of them being from anywhere. Because the thing that existed that held that place that they hold now, prior to that 12,000 year mark, was an ape. So let that be on them. They can't be an original people if their gene is recessive, meaning I can lay down with any woman on this planet, give her a melanated Asiatic baby, even if the baby don't got my consciousness, it's going to come out with my skin color. Therefore, I won, right? Meanwhile, the only way Caucasian people can have babies with each other, WIGHT people can have babies like that is if they have babies with each other. That's it. Any baby with anybody else on the planet, I'm dominating. So even though you got Chinese people over there trying to come in, have sex with all the African women that they buying from the country and all of that, you're going to have a whole generation. You're going to have maybe the next 4 generations now where they start dealing with the Afro-Chinese people, the China Africans or whatever they're going to call them. And you're going to have a section of them that's going to be used by the Chinese government to solidify themselves even more in the African country and eventually take it over. But what they also is not understanding is that it's twofold. Now you're going to have all them Chinese Africans that's going to be able to go back to China now and start doing the same thing the Chinese people is doing that. Just because China, remember, 50 years ago, China was broke. 50 years ago, China had no money. China got money by opening up their country and slaving out their citizens to be the bargain bin manufacturer for the world. You understand? I just watched this thing about these African nations importing all this rice from China. Do you know half that rice is plastic? But these are Africans. Like, what happened to couscous? Like, why are y'all buying plastic rice from China? And these are the people that they want me to be under, that they want me to descend from. No. So I have nothing against the continent of Africa because my ancestors set that place up. Africa, again, is a Latin word. Okay? So, whatever. So if Africans have a problem with the fact that we here in America don't want to be referred to as Africans or African Americans, then they should find an indigenous word from the continent of Africa that's not Latin to describe that place. And let's call it that. But real Africans who listen to me and listen to what we talk about know that we don't have problem with the people. I don't have no problem with no African person or nobody, because there is no such thing. That's like saying black. That's a designation. Because people from the continent refer to themselves by the country that they come from. So if I say that I'm not an African American, that's not me dissing Africans. For me, bigging up and showing and proving what Moorish history is, Moorish American history, ancient Moroccan, Canaanite, Moabite, imperial Moorish history is, that's not a problem. We don't make up words for them. They call us Abid and Obaku and all of these different derogatory terms, kafir, cotton picker and shit like that. Like, this is how they refer to us, knowing that they didn't sell us into no damn slavery. They know it. Because if there was, there will be evidence and remnants of that today, and there is none. None. So any Freemason going over there telling you that they done found that is lying. Who does it benefit? Who does you being from Africa benefit? If you don't say you first, then it's an op. Has any African, look, everybody going to get DNA tests to prove that they from Africa. How come you don't see no Africans getting DNA tests to prove who they connected to in America? You ever ask yourself that? No, we'll never do that. Why would we Africans want to define who we're descended from in terms of you? And this is what I'm saying. It's one-sided. So as we close, for over 700 years, Jews, Muslims, and Christians lived together in medieval Spain in relative peace. This rare period of pluralistic society was called the La Convivencia. The La Convivencia, which means the coexistence. By Spanish historians, it started with the Muslim Moorish conquest of the Iberian Peninsula in 711 and ended with the surrender of the last Moorish king of Granada in 1492. So, if we want to take the last time we was up in there, that was 711 or 1492. But if we take it back before 711, we was there when Hannibal was there, when it was all under the Carthaginian Empire, when there was no Europe. So again, as this says, we got flags and evidence to show and improving. This is another more from over here, from old Granada here. So between this tape and the last one we did in terms of the Granada thing, in terms of proving that the Moors have always been here in America and proving that they took everything and renamed the stuff that was here and renamed it to stuff over there, that's it. This is it. So, and as you can see, when we was running it, everybody lived in peace, in coexistence. After we fell, that was the calculated end of the world, and we've been falling ever since. But now that we getting back up, what's happening? They falling, because they're exactly where we were in 1492, and now we're where they were. You see? And so now they're getting all their little grand cracker helpers to kind of throw us off of that and try to make us feel bad because we don't want to identify with the people who came here and invaded us, or we don't want to identify with being slaves. Why? Because we could never be slaves, because we are not descended and have no Slovenian ancestry. And I just showed and proved to you that we've always been here. So lastly, to put the nail in it, this is another old painting along the lines of what we was talking about. Oh yeah, look at this one. Forgot about this one. Another emblem of old America. And I'm going to show you the actual place in Chicago, how it actually looked. Look. Now, this is when we was running it. Look. See the Moor? See the sister with the trumpet and the turban? See? Look at all the Moors. Now, look at this right here. You see all of this? Y'all see that, right? Okay. Here we go. Okay, see the ball, see the gilded joint, see the trusses, see the ramparts, see the canal, see all that, right? Look, y'all peep that, right? Look. So what they call the Tartarian Empire was just the eastern portion of the Moorish Empire. The world was boxed between Barbary and Tartary because we was the only melanated Asiatic peoples that was banging on this devil on both sides of the hemisphere. And we regrouped here in the 1300s to the point where they done wrote a book about it called The Conquest of Peru, Bogota, Talamanca, Telemescua, and Natchez, showing that this went all the way up to the Mississippi in the 13th century by the Mongols on behalf of Genghis Khan. So these are the Moors, okay? And we speak of those ancient Tartarians, these Moors, we're talking about these people. Us, just taller or shorter. Look, what the hell? Where was they get? What type of technology was this? Where they got straight up poles that go all the way to the top with all of these different ridges on them, and these onion dome structures. The only architecture that deal with onion domes like that is Moors, is Islamic. No matter where it's at. Look how we dominated. Look how tall dominated this dude. This dude might as well not even be here. So you mean to tell me that this dude in the 700s, in the 800s, dominated these people by himself? Look, I don't believe nothing none of these niggas are saying anymore. I don't believe nothing. Real talk. I don't be believing nothing. The more they talk, the more I be like, nah. Oh, using a Mercator map? You're done. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be that simple for me. Oh, it's a Mercator map. So you basing all of this off what? The map? So you going based on the before the conversion? Okay, cool. After the conversion, you talking from that perspective? Cool. Using words like African and all of that to describe me and people who existed before we was even using that word in Latin? You're done. There's an ancient subway in New York that's still there to this day. It looked just like this. Because that Underground Railroad that Tubman and them was dealing with, that was a real railroad. That was a real railroad. Crackers don't build nothing. This again from Illinois. And you want to tell me that they built this in a month and a half, and then just destroyed this after? That's what they did? Look at this, Moors. Look. Then why ain't they build anything that looked like this since? Exactly. Why would you do that? Because they ain't build it. The same way they only dig up our ancestors. You ain't never see these niggas dig up King Arthur and this one and that one. You ain't never see that. They only dig up our ancestors because they don't dig up their own ancestors because nobody want to see them. What they do, they'll dig up old white people and then put them in your grave and then hide the real body. Like you ever seen them when they took that picture of Ramses and he's mad dark and you see it's a black man and they take some fake wig, blonde hair and then try to glue it on the top like that was actually there. Like, look, here go the woolly mammoths that was here. Here go the giant squid that was here that they taxidermied. This was all at the fair, the World Fair. The World's Fair was the cover for them destroying the world. And that's why all the World's Fairs happened towards the end of the 1800s, right after the Reconstruction, because they was reconstructing everything that they destroyed. Or that was destroyed during the New Madrid earthquake. And then they created a bunch of battles, right? Such as the War of 1812, such as the Civil War, such as the Spanish-American War, and of this war, and of that war. Half them things only happen on paper. Islam, sis. So that's basically it, Moors. Let me just show you this last joint. You can find it real quick. So again, know the difference between battels and battles. Okay? A real battle is something that's fought in the real world. What these people did was they just wrote down a bunch of stuff they wanted to do and then ratified it with each other. And then they started to move as if the ratification that they had with each other was real. Is the original. Anybody have any questions before we close out? Yeah, the ancient name of Cuba was Kubana Khan or Kuba Khan, like Kubla Khan. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the ancient name of Cuba was Kubana Khan. And all of that was part of the United States. All of that is America. All of that is America. They just localize it to the little space that we know as Washington, D.C. You know what I'm saying? Wow, I can't believe that shit gone. Where the fuck did it go? Ah. And then we'll close with this. So everything they've ever told us about the United States of America is a damn lie. And everybody that they told us was a slave, if they was melanated, was the opposite. However, if they were coming from the Portuguese Christian side, then they were your enemy because they were the ones that came over here to take our land from us. The Portuguese Christians, the Portuguese United States, Portuguese subjects of Alphonse, who themselves were amalgamated Moors, and they was with the you know, they were into fighting battles. But we was into real fighting. And we shut them all the way down up until 1864. If you look at the last tape I did, I read from that book, Islamic Slavery Boats from Behind Brazil, and I get into specifically in that. There's no way we could have knocked down the entire Anglo-American faction in 1864, and then the next year in 1865, they start a civil war. How did they start the civil war if they was already defeated in 1864? How could they attack the White House in 1812 when the New Madrid earthquake made certain aspects of the country, you couldn't even get past it. There was so much destruction, you couldn't even get from one side of the block to the other. You understand? That's right, Mo. These monkeys got to go. So, look. Lastly, look. Here we go. Now we got the Moorish ships in the back. Now this is where the amalgamation is coming from. You see? The dude, Mercury with the caduceus. This is now the mythology. This is now the Moors being forced to amalgamate with these ones that's coming over. See, they got Poseidon with the chariot of the seahorses, with the exploding volcano, showing you that everything is switching up. Yes, everything's switching up. But as it gets ill, look. Look, now you got the amalgamated Moors. Look, he's half black. Look at this kid. He's half black, half white. Look. That ain't the shadow. It ain't just the shadow. It's the whole, it's half of his body is black. The other half is white. They showing you. Look, putting it in the pot. The pot represent what? The cauldron. This is where it's all getting mixed up at. Look, here go the free slaves, the light-skinned mulattoes coming through, showing where they're coming from. Look, pointing to Europe. What's on the other side of the world, though? Look, the Moors, right? With their own map. But look, on this map, the whole world connected. Look. The whole world connected, Moors. Look. And we got to swear on all of it. Now, look, as we go further down, look at the royal colors. Look, red, green, gold, which is basically white, purity. Look, all the Moors, the man and the woman together. All these niggas on the outside coming in, being amalgamated, coming into the melting pot, right? And look, come all the way down. Who's that? Got the Mamalukes. See? The Mamalukes holding us down. Right? Enthroned in front of who? The Moors. I got a better picture of them too, bigger. Look. Look, she's holding a map showing North, Central, South America. Imperial colors, Moors. In the imperial colors, wearing a turban, wearing the royal feathers, in the colors, on the throne, gilded. Look, the jewels. Right? The pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. But look under that, the onion domes, the same domes I said you see them on top of the Moorish buildings. So these is Moors. Because these dudes are standing next to these dudes. And these are the Mamalukes, right? Right. So again, Moors, love yourself. Know and understand that we always been here. We are at the time of the diaspora. You know what I'm saying? So this is the best time for us to start to do the knowledge. You know, I'm going to try to get these flags printed up as well as other ones. And, you know, your individual processes is definitely on point. You need to follow through with that. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you, again, working in the divine and the national. We all we got. So we got to make sure we know what we talking about. And again, a lot of Moors are still confused. A lot of Moors is out here following behind and pumping up information that is outdated now. You don't even got to do half the shit that half the stuff these Moors is telling you to do. But that's also because a lot of them were miseducated. A lot of them wasn't given the knowledge on purpose. You know what I'm saying? So again, man, we have to be ourselves and not nobody else. We got to be what we say we about. You know what I'm saying? And we about this. We about the fact that Granada was right here. Therefore, we don't need to go nowhere. So when everybody's talking about how we're not this and we're not that or whatever, anybody telling you that what you not, again, you already know what that is. That's your enemy. And they running game on you. Because again, your brother just showed and proved to you, not only was Granada over here, not only was Spain over here, not only was all the buildings and everything else over here, but Haiti and all that was over here too. You know what I'm saying? So, again, don't be scared to be a Muslim. Don't be scared to stand on that, because right now it's the Islamic Muslims are under total attack worldwide because Saudi Arabia has now basically co-signed the Pope taking it over, which is why our prophet was so wise to let us know that we was Muslims. And when we read the third prophecy of the Prophet Muhammad of Mecca, peace be upon him, he even says that in the end times, everything goes back to Andalusia and everything will fall under the jurisdiction of the Moors. And I just showed you where original Andalusia, Granada, Andalusia, the Isle of Flowers, and all of that stuff is, and it's right here. So that's that. So again, look up Orientalist paintings. Yes, Look up Orientalist paintings and stuff like that. And next week, we're going to get into some of those as well. Anybody have any last questions before we close out? No? Okay. Thank you guys for coming through. Thank you guys for the zakat. Sadukateers@gmail.com. If you have any other questions, let me know. Oh, the sprites. Yeah, I got some more pictures of them too. I'll show that next week. Because I'll show you how the sprites is even related to the Moors. Well, they call them sprites, but that's not what they are. Islam, everyone.